Boom. Let the sun shine in. That's what I'm talking about. We're closing in on the weekend. But more importantly, we're closing in on a day in the shop with the handsomest guy on YouTube. That's what my mom used to say. I'm Jimmy, we're making it work, and we're not going to just horse around today. We're going to fix some stuff. I hope you're going to stay tuned for that, because we're going to learn things, we're going to have fun. It's going to be a productive day. I can feel it in my bones. We do have some projects, truck stuff going on, and there'll be videos on that. There'll be some tool reviews coming up. I even got a little model engine, which looks pretty cool. I'm really into models and stuff. I don't film it a lot, but I'm going to film this one. It's a cool little engine. I'm going to build it in a short video, try to keep it under 15 minutes. But anyway, enough about that. Let's be aware of the fact that it's very muggy this morning. It's about 80 degrees. Feels like it's going to be in the mid 90s today. Unless it rains, it'll keep it down if it rains. We'll see. It hasn't usually, when it waits to rain till the end of the day when the sun's going down, which is weird. Usually 3 to 5 o'clock or so in Florida it'll rain, Central Florida. That's where we're located if you're new. Let's finish getting the place open and we get started. What do you say? Instead of just babbling, flapping and flapping, let's get in there and do it. Stay tuned. Oh man, you guys remember this Ford Escape from 10 days ago? Car Shield is going to cover the AC compressor. They're not going to cover the fuel sensor. They're not covering the tailgate shocks and a couple of little things we saw in the inspection. They're going to cover the compressor. So we're going to go ahead and do a compressor. If you don't remember this car, the air would intermittently get warm. The compressor would stop varying pressure from low to high. It's a variable displacement compressor, and that's its job. So electrically, it would stop working. Mechanically, it would intermittently start working again. So it was definitely an electrical, not a mechanical problem. So we should be good popping a compressor on there. There it is. Once we get the hood open, we'll get the AC machine on it, vacate all of its refrigerant from the system, and we can get to work. It all happens from underneath. You can't even see the compressor from here. The low side, the head, it's right under there. You just got to be tricky like the engineers. It's really sketchy. I hooked it up while it was running the other day, and the alternator's right there. So I don't advise anyone does that, unless you're an expert or you don't like your fingers. It's not like anything goes wrong anyway. Recover, do not save service record. Connect both hoses. And it'll take this old girl a minute. Do I wish to take a snapshot? Nah. So once we get the refrigerant out, we're going to lift this thing up and we'll get started. For those who aren't familiar, it's a 2016, I believe, or a 15. Let's see. 2015 Ford Escape with 92,000 miles. Pretty clean inside. It's a 5. It's about what you'd expect. When I rate a car, I try not to be too harsh, but you know, there's average messes and clutter, and then there's ones that people just obviously do not have any love for their vehicle, and they go below 5. And the ones where people seem to care just a little bit more than average, they go above 5. That's how I do it. What do you think? Is this a 5 to you? Looks pretty decent. Anyway, I'm bored. Refrigerant's pulling out. It's got bald tires and some other stuff, but we're just doing what Car Shield covered. That's it. Anybody else notice there was a screw missing over here? Can't have that. Found something that's kind of close in my toolbox. They only charge 1 hour labor, so I'm guessing it's pretty easy. Oh, I gotta take the under pan off to see it. You gotta go a little higher. It's ready for brakes, just about, really close. I told them it wasn't an emergency, but they are getting low, just note it. Tires are a little sketchy. This has got to be a wicked pulsation. It's got to be a pulsation. Every time this passes the pad, it's basically a ceramic pad contamination on the surface. But let's go ahead and raise her up a little more. What do you say? Well, that's not plugged in. That's a 10. Missing. Missing. Oh, torques. We're gonna figure it out. This all looks familiar to me. I might have done an oil change in this car at some point 6 months ago or a year ago, whatever. I think we also just did one not long ago. Before we checked the AC and the tailgate and the check engine light stuff. If you guys saw that video, it has a bad low pressure fuel sensor. But we're not doing that. I don't want this to fall out, so I want to take it out. Oh, more riveting content. We'll get that out of the way and come back. Well, I was wondering why my magnet wouldn't stick to the drive shaft. It must have fell out somewhere. I dropped it too many times. I must have dropped this light 30 times. I got another one just in case, but I'm trying to use this one 99% of the time, so that one stays kind of new until I absolutely need it, like when the magnet falls out. So tensioner's up there. Now it's easier to get to probably if you take all these bolts out of the wheel liner and the push pins and pull this back. But for 1 hour we're not doing that. For 1 hour we're going to deal with it's got a lot of oil leaks too. I actually cleaned some of it off already, but looks like oil's coming down the valve cover and the turbo cooler line and stuff, which is another common problem on these. I've done a few in some videos. But anyway, focus. I think that's a 17. And I should be able to get this belt off. The compressor does look fairly easy. Let's see if I can get some electrical connectors undone while we're in here. Alright, if I get the belt off, the manifold hose is a 13 or a 10 up here, I believe. There's two separate ones, two separate 13s. See? And then I think there's 3 13s holding it to the engine block. They're racing, the flatbed's winning. 17 I think. Let's see here. Man, that's sloppy on there. What the heck? Oh, Ford. Did you? Let's try a 16. 17 sloppy. Must be a 16. Let's see here. Let's try that. Nope, 16 is too small. So it's in between. It's a 16.5. Nice work, boys. Oh, that is good stuff. Good stuff. 17 still works, even if it does fit sloppy. Now I'm here to tell you that the upper hose, that one with the mesh on it, that's abrasion mesh, that upper tube is in the way of the lower one, so you can't take that nut off the bottom. That's easier to get to because the pipe blocks it. So you got to take the one off the top, so that line's out of the way to get the one off the bottom. And the other problem I'm having is a shallow socket doesn't reach the nut, and a deep socket doesn't fit with my 3/8. So I'm going to try some quarter drive. We'll see if we can fit that all up in there. I think once these hoses are off, the rest is pretty easy. I probably shouldn't have said that. Watch out for the radiator. Maybe I can get my fingers up in there, I don't know. Oh yeah. This is easy. I'd have done this from point 8. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Unless they know. The better off we all are. Now, I can get to the bottom. If you unscrew it too far, you won't get your tool out. It wedges against the radiator shroud, fan shroud deal. You can't spin it by hand. You just go back to 3/8. Oh, there's rust on the threads. what happens is this thing gets damp and dry, damp and dry, damp and dry. Temperature changes, all that stuff. So there's quite a bit of corrosion on these threads. Has to come off with a tool the whole way. There it is. The light out of here. Why is it stuck? Let's see. Oh, there it goes. This one came out looking as I would expect. This other one came out not looking the way I would expect. Hopefully that's not a problem, but we're gonna find out. It might just have a different style gasket. We'll see. There's 2 bolts in the front and there's a stud in the top and the back. And this is a coolant hose right here that has a plastic 90-degree elbow. So you can't slide the compressor all the way off with the stud because the stud comes out to the length of these. You can tell by the new one, which is nice to have your parts in advance for this reason. See how long that is. And the stud comes out to here. So you need about 5 inches to get the compressor off the stud. My point is, you have to take the stud out. Otherwise, you can't fit the compressor out without removing a radiator and taking off this coolant hose and stuff. So let's find a socket. Hopefully it's the same size as these. And we can take the stud out of the block. Because Bill and Bob, you know, gotta have a sense of humor. You gotta have a sense of humor. Hey, oh, that fits. Look at that. If I can get it on the stud in here, and it'll turn out and not break and weird stuff like that, it'll be easy. Well, feels like it might be a little bigger. I'm gonna keep this here just in case I'm wrong. We'll go up one size. See if that one fits. Where is it? Where are you at? Oh, that feels too big. It might be a hex. Did you see when I shoved you up there? The hose fitting is in the way. I'm gonna need a little wobbly deal. But it's a 5mm socket I have on there. I put a little chrome swivelly deal on it. I don't know if you can even see it from there, but don't get too carried away, because again, you won't fit your tools out. Nobody wants to go without their tool. Can't quite turn it by hand yet, which is part of the process. It's supposed to be like that. We're gonna have to risk turning it out some more. Let's see what happens. It's still too tight. Gravity check. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Where are you at? Oh, come on, man. It's like a turn away from falling out. And, oh, I turned the wrong way? Man, I was too optimistic. Thought I was done backing it out. If they don't come out now, I'm getting the Sawzall. It'll make me carry out my fret. I told you I'd do it. I'm telling you right now. Oh, I can turn the swivel sideways. The labor guides are based on 2- and 3-year-old cars, even newer sometimes. And they are guesstimations. They don't have a clean room, or they put somebody in there to see how long it takes them to do it. They guess how long it's going to take. And they're right half the time. So I'm going to fumble with this for another 20 minutes probably. And we're going to get it out. Just see how long it takes. And luckily, no real rush. There's nothing else to do. So when I get done with this, I'll Probably work on the project truck if something else isn't coming in. Parking lot. Got the Cadillac from yesterday. I don't know if he's going to abandon it now that we told him how much work it needs. Anybody would know that they needed a lot of work, right? We'll see. He might even come back and fix it. I don't know. All I know right now is it sat out in the parking lot last night and we haven't heard back. So we gotta do what we gotta do. The tool gets jammed in the radiator, and I will seriously get the Sawzall. That's all. No empty threats. I'm a man of my word. It barely fits out next to that coolant tube. It'd be funny if they wanted you to drain and refill the coolant, all that stuff for an hour too. That would have been cool. That's probably what they want, but we're not doing that. We got one bolt left over here, and there's nothing holding it in. I don't know why it's staying up, but whatever. Oh, there it is. It's got little dowels in it. Now you got to tilt the back down so that the oil that's in the compressor drips down your shirt. Turn it up like that. Be a little tricky. Don't break any coolant lines. Yeah, look at that. It's got some. That's why that hose looked different. It's got some weird end on it I've never seen before. Learn something new every day. See the corrosion on the bolt? All right, let's get the new one. Hey,
I'm gonna go ahead and start some prep work on your truck for you.
You want to take that right rear quarter down? Thanks. It says on the sticker, contains refrigerant oil. Doesn't contain much. Took me a little while just to get a little bit to drip out. So I'm going to let it drain sufficiently to make sure. Now I have no idea how much oil's in it. Most of the time on a compressor, 2 to 3 ounces. If you do a condenser, another ounce, ounce and a half. Expansion valve or a hose, about a half an ounce. All you're doing is coating the parts, and the refrigerant carries the oil around to protect the compressor. The old days, the compressors actually had an oil bath underneath, and the parts spun in the oil, and they lasted forever. But they also weighed about 30 pounds. So these new ones are like 3.5 pounds, and they last about 90,000 miles. All right. 2.5 ounces of the compressor oil device, and try not to take an oil bath. We'll see what happens. I gotta do what I gotta do. Oh. You gotta be careful, because the system we use is not a perfect science. Now, how much oil's in it? I don't know. I do not know. Should be little divots up there, unless they. Let me see if there's double. We got dowel pins in the compressor and in the block. It's not going to put it together. So. And I put new O-rings on everything, of course. It comes with the wrong size O-rings in the box with the compressor. I don't know how they don't know what size O-rings it takes when they manufacture the compressor. But I had O-rings for it. So we're okay. This back one, I don't think is supposed to be in here. Thinking. In this compressor, they're both in the front. There's none in the back. In this compressor, they're both on the top. So I have to take this one out and put it over here. That's why I couldn't install it. But good news, I didn't get a drop of oil on me. Only on my hand. Now, I find this works best for these. You see this gap here? Right here? Take the side cutters, go towards the opening. And that helps. This box was open. Hopefully that doesn't turn out to be a problem. Someone had taped it back closed. I'm assuming the person that installed these, because there was an open bag in the box. I'm guessing some greedy shop had a young kid with very little experience trying to put this compressor in, and probably made a mess like that. And he didn't know what he was doing. He put the dowels in the wrong place and then said the compressor doesn't fit. So they sent it back, and now I got it. That's just all assumptions. That's what I do when I'm trying to figure out how the world works. Just make a lot of assumptions, calculations, and I'm wrong about 90% of the time, but I still feel better. And that's what really matters, right? It's not about reality, it's about how you feel. I'm gonna take those rubber plugs that I took out of this, put it back in that lower, and I'm gonna add a little splash of oil. Now it should go in. Now, see if we can get it back together. That'd be the best part. If that happens, we're in good shape. I don't need to have the stud too tight. That wasn't the nut. That was just the stud. Yeah. That's what I use, a little 5.5 socket. Yeah. 13 on that one. We'll switch that over to 13. I do the electrical plugs right before I do the hoses, I guess. That doesn't fit in the front bolt. This will fit. It's a little shorter. Smoke break. Thanks, Gravity. Appreciate you. Got to fight the urge to put the top hose on first because that makes sense. It'd be easier. But not in this case. Yeah. Nice work, boys. It works. I just wish they'd make it an actual 17 millimeter. That'd be cool. Pull a nice vacuum, make sure all the moisture and any contaminants will be pulled out, because otherwise they freeze in the system and cause performance issues. It also can cause corrosion. So you got to do that. And then a little refrigerant, 24 ounces to be exact. 24 ounces to be exact, because it's a 1.6 liter. And then we'll see how it works, which it worked before intermittently. So basically when I initially looked at it, it worked for about 10 minutes and then it stopped working. And I could never get it to work again unless I let the car cool off. So that's why we did the compressor. Refrigerant is going in now. We'll be running this thing to see how good it works in just a moment. 1.5 pounds. Such a pleasant key chime in the morning. All right, compressor engaged. I see it up there. Oil change required warning. I thought we were supposed to reset that. I'll have to ask him about that. I think I saw that last time too. We're not doing the check engine light stuff. Not worried about that. Air is nice and cold. You can see the pressures are good up there. So we're gonna let it run a while. This thing, it didn't last about 10 minutes before, 5 to 10 minutes. I didn't time it exactly, but so if I let this run 20-30 minutes, it stays nice and cold, we'll be good. I'll probably let it run 15-20 in the shop, take it for a drive, which is another 10-15 minutes around town, and we'll be good. This car should be done. And everyone's kind of standing around hanging out. There's not a lot going on, so we are we're in a holding pattern, and hopefully we come up with something else to do. I'll play with the project truck for a little while, if not, and work on that video a little. Customer is waiting. That's kind of strange. 2019 Dodge Caravan, 90,629 miles. They said their mechanic friend told them the transmission pump's no good, so it doesn't want to shift gears. Check engine lights on. I don't want to drive it too far if it doesn't shift gears, but we will try to drive it a little bit. And put some AC on in here. It's about 200 degrees, give or take. And give it a low rating of 3. And drive around the parking lot a little bit. I hope they're not really waiting and they just used a red envelope by mistake, but can't be sure. It feels okay driving around the building. Shift it in a second. Interesting. Let's bring it in the shop and see what the check engine light's all about, and that'll give us a sense of direction. They said it's not shifting correctly and the pump might be bad. That's kind of a strange conclusion to come to without major problems. I'm gonna speculate that when it gets hotter, it doesn't move, which is much more likely for a transmission or pump failure. Sometimes they'll work great for 5 minutes and stop working. Sometimes they completely fail and never work at all. I think if we get some trouble codes, maybe we'll get a sample of fluid. Oop. It just started making weird noises. Yep, there it goes. Just as I got it in the shop, I started hearing. Yeah. Okay. It's already acting up. Glad I didn't try to drive it. Let's get the scanner. Before I do that, see if we can get a look at the fluid before it gets too hot. My custom Mercedes and Dodge dipstick. You can feel it touch the bottom of the pan. There's foam. That is not a good sign. It smells like it's burnt. So, alright, now I'm going to put the scanner on it. Let's see if I have Chrysler in here yet. This is a Chrysler, right? Dodge. Totally different. Oh, there it is. Get these two talking, send a report, and then we'll go over some codes. The fluid, by the way, it was full, but it's foaming. So there's a small possibility like a filter's coming off on the, if it's a filter that you can remove, coming off in the pan. So we'll have to look into that, see if anyone's having problems with that. Maybe recommend pulling the pan off, looking for metal debris, and seeing what kind of shape the filter's in at all. Maybe if they're really lucky, it's just something like that. Once we see codes, if we have a particular code for a certain slipping in certain gears and not others, then that's a sign of a mechanical transmission issue. But we'll see. Got a vibe it's gonna be mad I don't have a subscription. Oh, okay. It's at least scanning. That's cool. Oh, yeah. 7 codes. Uh-oh. We got a lot of codes. We got gear ratio error in 5th, 4th, and 3rd, loss of pump prime, fault immediately after shift, LC pressure switch rationality, on line pressure low. And there's other codes for instrument cluster issues and communication with IPM, FCM, TIPM, ECU reset recovery occurred. Probably someone disconnecting a battery, seeing if it will fix it. I sent them a report. We're going to need to remove the pan, take a look inside, see if it's worth salvaging, if there's metal in the pan and stuff. I mean, honestly, it's not looking good. 90,000 miles. I almost wonder if there might be some kind of extended warranty. We'll look up service bulletins and see if there's anything like that we can find for the customer to help them out. And then we'll see if we go any further with this one. I'm hungry. The problems with these things are all over the place. I mean, people with 40, 50, 60,000 miles are doing transmission repairs, major ones, solenoid packs, TIPMs, The transmission itself, the pumps go bad, the sensors go bad. This basically is to tell you what the sensors do and what the solenoid does. So the solenoid, which duty cycled off, it passes the Fast and Furious, bro. It passes line pressure when it's off and restricts it when it's on. So a higher duty cycle means it wants lower line pressure, and a lower duty cycle means it wants higher. And then there's a sensor in there that monitors what it's doing. It's supposed to be about 0.3 to 4.7 volts. We're going to take a look at those and see what it looks like. Key on engine off, about half a volt or so, I expect. It's the transmission's what do they call, foobar? But we got to take a look at a couple of things to be 100% sure. And like I said earlier, we got to drop the pan to have us a good look in there. Might not have a separate TCM, even though it's listed in my modules file. So let's go into PCM. Powertrain control module. Might do both. Data stream. Now at the bottom will be transmission data. VVT, variable bots, engine data. Alright. If it has transmission controls, trans oil temperature, torque converter slip. Let me find these data PIDs. We'll take a quick look at those to verify my sneaky suspicions. And I have been talking to the customer about removing the pan to have a look too. If there's no debris in the pan, I mean, you could even put a pump in the transmission probably, but it's a big risk. 90,000 miles isn't a lot though, so maybe it's somewhat of a risk. Output speed, input speed you can look at. It's not clear to me whether this is engine or transmission oil pressure. Alright, let me find these data PIDs and I'll show you. I brought up the volume indexes, the LC clutch fill volume index, LR clutch. So the line control clutch, low reverse clutch, I'm supposing the abbreviation stands for, but these numbers would be red usually if there's going to be a problem. I'll have to look up the specifications. It says here standard range is 0 to 255 counts. This is telling you the condition of the clutches and how much it has to do to maintain the level of slip or non-slip it wants. So you can see these other data PIDs, closed, false, applied, and closed. If we put it in reverse, they should change. So it's not even going into reverse right now. It's been running a little while, and now we have no line pressure. Neutral. Oh, ooh, really hard in the gear. So I don't want to run this too much more in case there is something that we can do to fix this thing. It's got big transmission problems. The way that thing's behaving, it wouldn't go into reverse and then it slammed in the drive. That's not a good look. So I just wanted to show you there are little things you can check. I couldn't find this 5-volt sensor. I'm not sure why, but honestly, it's not really necessary that I do it. I just wanted to show you guys. If I do figure it out after I get something to eat, I will show you. Whoa! I'm not gonna get a lot of customers coming in that weather.
That's fun.
That is cool.
This guy drove this down from Chicago, moving to Florida, with no fluid in the diff. Made a short about it. Alright guys, bottom dropped out. So I've been working on a project truck, working on that video. I'm not going to work on Father's Day. You guys know these videos are a week later because I edit them over the weekend. And then while I'm working, I'm just collecting the footage. Usually about a week late. So I'm so busy. I need to win the lottery. I can calm down and just take it easy and make cool videos and fix cars. That's what Jose wants me to do. So thanks for watching, guys. Long goodbye. I'll edit it down, don't worry. You won't even notice. Thanks for watching. Torque the like button before you head out. Subscribe if you're new here, and I hope I see you in another video because you're awesome.